Hey guys, so I just finished grading weekly assignment number three, the presidential disasters assignment. So I want to take you through here. So step one, you had to do step one and step two by Wednesday at 6 p.m. So step one, you had to do the following: name, incident type, state, declaration type, posted on Pallet. So if you did, you got 1. If you didn't, you got -1. You got +1 if you posted a disaster that was a disaster type that was other than major disaster type. So the point of the second part of this, which was due on Sunday, was to see what were the differences between the different types of disasters or declaration types. Now you couldn't do this if the majority of you had the major disaster type. So if 4 of you had things different than the major declaration type, and if that is the case, then you got +1 for a total possible points of 9 points on this assignment. So after you did this by Wednesday, and this was so that your classmates knew what declaration type you had, what incident type you had, and so hopefully to choose something different, which many of you did, but quite a few of you didn't either. And I just want to say out loud, I know it's summer, you guys, but this is not a class that you're going to do well in if you don't put the time and effort and really read these instructions. They're pretty detailed instructions, and there's a new set every week as to not have a boring class and to make assignments more applicable, but you do need to read those. So step 2 was worth 3 points, also due Wednesday, as I said. And what did you need to do for 3 points? You needed to submit by Wednesday at 6 p.m. You need to cite where you got your information from, and provide a summary of the declaration. 2 individuals, well, more than 2 individuals got full credit for this, but I wanted to put 2 examples of what full credit looked like. Nice job, Aaron. You'll see him as Ruben, and Nathan. So this will be posted along with this this screencast for you. Okay, so what did you have to do next? So that was Wednesday. Pretty straightforward. Wednesday, due by Sunday. Please don't post before Thursday morning. Basically, you need to look at all of the information that your class posted. So this wasn't just 1 or 2 of your classmates, folks. This was to look at all the information and draw upon 2 of their posts to discuss more fully. So there was a couple of you that gave me like 2 sentences. That's not more fully. You really want to examine fully. So examples of those that did well, Sade and George. So they got full credit. They were worth 2 points each. And so you might want to just, if you have questions about your grade, which are now posted, you might want to check out those 2 as for kind of where the bar was. So there's that. It's weekly assignment number 3. I'm going to go over, let's pull this one in here. Okay, hazards. So, first part of this, again, due Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're going to look at all the hazards that occur in the United States, and I know from the East Coast, the heat and the tornadoes sometimes, and very rarely the earthquakes, although we did have one several years back. But being on the West Coast, I've been evacuated twice for fires now. I've been in situations where we were watching Twitter feed to see if other people were making it out okay. So very different environment, and I, even in the emergency management field, didn't realize what folks on the West were dealing with. So it's very interesting to have an idea, especially if you're in this field, to know what kind of disasters occur where and what you need to do to be prepared. Okay, so what major subcategories, subgroups, or categories are divided into? So I want you guys to tell me, go look and see what DHS has, and then tell me what FEMA has, and then look around the internet and tell me how they're classified. And here is a bit of a hint here. People, just like classifying what or defining what terrorism is, people define these things differently. Also, just so you know, what do I mean by the subgroups or categories? Well, this is verbatim off of these sites, but one example of a category is natural hazards. So be on the lookout for that word. So number 2, so after you do number 1, number 2, what part of the United States are the following most likely to occur? And there are some websites that I give you that you can look for this information. But earthquakes. So what state? You could tell me state. You could tell me region. I know Alaska has many, but also the West Coast. But then what do we say now that Virginia had one a few years back? So look at those and really, I don't want you to go to a one-off website and say, this happens here, this happens here. Like, you really need to dig around and look for more than one source to back up your information. Then I want you to create this chart. I tell you how to do it. Create, 2-column chart in a Word document and give me the information that I asked for you down here. And I give you all the sites that you'll need for this. So folks, that is due Wednesday. Probably don't want to wait till the last minute. Hopefully you've already gotten started. So, part 2, due on Sunday at 6 p.m. And I've updated the instructions because this is the original instructions, so I do apologize for not saying due Sunday. So in this class, if you guys have not called on already, I did speak about this in the original one, but any given week, you'll have assignments due either Wednesday or Sunday. If you go on and plan on having one due every Wednesday and Sunday, then when you don't have one due on Wednesday, it's like, I get a little bit of a break. But more often than not, it's Wednesdays and Sundays, especially for our weekly assignments. It's too easy to forget about this class and just do stuff on, Sundays, which is just not a good habit to get into for summer courses in general. Okay, so consider the following. So I'm asking you to imagine that you're a consultant and that you want to discuss one of the nation's hotspots. So you need to conduct a case study of a town or city within one of the highest risks for one of these disasters. And you can choose a disaster. Do you want to talk about earthquakes, wildfires? What? Then tell me what location has the most of these. And then after you look for that place, look for that city, what is their emergency management office doing? What is their preparedness office doing? What are their community emergency response teams doing? If you don't know what a community emergency response team is, that's okay. We get to that in the week after, and that's a CERT, which many of you, if you're really serious about this field, should volunteer for and get the free training that they provide. But hopefully you'll learn more about that, and that's one of the reasons I had you do this following assignment. So, and then you answer my questions. Now again, not one-off answers, folks. Like, I want you to dig into this. This is not something that I want you to do in one sitting. You really need to think about it. And then I offer up a rubric for the second part. So, that is it. I hope this was helpful. If it is not, I am more than willing to talk via email or the phone or Skype. Please let me know. I hope you guys are having a good week so far and have a great rest of the week. Okie doke. Bye-bye.